everyone, Helen Barcelona here again from our Afternoon Tea series. And again, we're going to have a wonderful conversation. I'm hoping you're liking the show. So subscribe. Please don't forget to subscribe and like and comment, because we like all of that. We like the feedback. We like to see what's going on. So today I'm talking to a really good friend that I've known for almost, I'd say, 15, 16 years. And I'm going to let her introduce herself, but she's a wonderful human being that's got involved in a lot of things, and we're going to find out all about it. So, Kathryn, tell me, what is your name? What are you doing? Where are you living? What's going on for you? What's happening?
Sure. My name is Kathryn McHenry, and I am the owner of Biz Orlando, Florida. That's B-I-Z Orlando FL. So it's Biz Orlando, Florida Consultancy, and I developed my business, revamped it in the past year to really explore where brand new ideas are grown so that I can help local businesses in the area just to share my experiences and what I have been through as an entrepreneur so that I can, help others and really just share real life solutions and what helps me on a day-to-day basis. I'm living now in the Soto district, which is south downtown, really growing area, really happy to be back here. This is where I grew up. So I'm just excited to redevelop everything here.
Yeah, it's a great part of town as well. It's really developing and eclectic and artistic and all that sort of thing. So when I knew you didn't live in that area, and you were involved in lots of other things. So what made you move to where you are? And I know that you've put together a business, and you had a store, and now you've got an online thing going on. But the SOS and all this sort of thing, what does all of that mean? I mean, what did you develop? What is it that you're doing?
What I found over the years is that really what people need is solutions. So SOS stands for Studio Orlando Services, and SOS Art Gallery was the retail brand that I created to showcase local artists. And I had a store for a couple of years at Artagon Marketplace, which was in the iDrive area, and then transitioned over into Mills 50. I was there for a couple of years in another retail space. So really just supporting other emerging artists. I know that artists love to share what they create. So the business side of it is what gets a little, they get nervous about, or just where to start. So that was really my passion, is just helping them in those early stages. And Soto District's always been near and dear to my heart.
What do you do? You have artists, but so do you help artists? Do you have a retail space for artists to come to? Or
a year ago I moved my shop online exclusively. I started out initially doing handmade cards and gifts with my sister, and just doing, mainly the shop was cards and gifts. It got to be a challenge where having enough inventory to replenish and manage the store, I didn't have enough hours in the day to create everything and then keep the store stocked, because that was a good problem to have. But inventory was turning over so quickly at Artagon that I needed to bring on more artists. And within a month's time having that vision, I had 20 artists come through my door to showcase them alongside my own creations. And that really was the solution. And once I moved over to Mills 50, that doubled to more than 40 local artists. My father actually passed away a year ago, which is what shifted my focus online, and really taking the past year to revamp and to move it online, and just to take a different directions from all the things that I've learned, what tweaks I needed to make to revamp it in a new way.
So why art? Why helping artists? What was your affinity with that sort of scene?
Sure. Growing up, my mom was always a floral designer. She did that since she was young. My dad's a photographer. So I really got into the creative parts of it when Orlando was really struggling back in 2008, 2010. I would go for walks in Thornton Park, downtown Orlando, and take pictures of all the beautiful things in Orlando when all of the news was focusing on the downtrodden aspects of what we were going through as a city. And that's really where my photography came from at that point, doing cityscapes, and it budded from there. So really, it was a creative outlet for me to get through that time, to get outside of myself and to look around me at all the beautiful things that Orlando has to offer.
And that's a good way to handle grief in a positive way. It's a good way to move forward in a positive way.
Right.
And that's one of the things I love doing about the show is that people have got all of these creative, positive ways of moving forward, and sharing it with other people, I think, helps, you know. And as you know, I lived in Orlando for some time. I loved Thornton Park. Well, I lived in Thornton Park for a while. And I love around the lake and the swans and all of that. There's a lot of energy downtown there.
Sure.
So in the last year, you've redone different things and you've gone online. So do you still have all of the artists in your store and all the products in your store as well as online? And also, do they teach in that store, or is it just purely retail?
So I'll be launching my new space in June. A lot of the artists that I was featuring, they have grown on to grow their own online businesses, to be featured in their own studios. So it's really great to see artists go above and beyond in taking things in a, you know, higher level on their own terms, and just to develop what they, you know, once they get the footing and everything they need to really just take off. So that's really been exciting. One thing that I noticed is that I was spending so much time managing the inventory and the other artists, I got away from creating myself. So I didn't have enough time for that creative outlet myself. So that's one thing I really realized to revamp in the past year, was to not focus as much on featuring other local artists, but using my creative outlets to work through the grief process of losing my father. And I really just therapeutically, it's really helped me to get back to creating. I had a block for about a year there. And it really, I know one conversation one day really helped, where someone said to me, it's okay to feel the emotions that you're going through from what you experienced with your father's death and everything that happened afterwards. And that was really, I noticed after hearing that statement, and for it to be okay, that block just went away that day. And I really was able to create again. And that's really was a game changer for me, just to realize in our society, it's okay for us to grieve and to show emotions in healthy ways and to deal with them in healthy ways. And then that can help push us past those mental blocks or the creative blocks.
I totally agree. One of the things that the other part of my business is to help people through their grieving process and their emotional drama and trauma and all that sort of stuff. And sometimes it can just take one word from one person to unblock something or to have a light bulb go off. That's excellent for you to be able to do that.
Yes.
But what is your creative outlet? Is it photography still? Is it flower arranging? You know, what is it that you do for your creative outlet?
My mom's gifts has always been flower arranging. I don't personally, I love more taking the photography of, you know, botanical of nature cityscapes, but mostly what I'm focused now on, I'm a demonstrator, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, which is a wonderful crafting supplies line that I can use their supplies to not only hold future workshops and different group outings for us to create together. You know, some people just don't know where to start, or they feel overwhelmed. And so to create some really basic, advanced, just different level classes for people to really meet them where they are creatively. So I'm looking forward to developing that again in the new space, to have support for other local businesses nearby where we can create and then support other local businesses together as a group. So that's really kind of what to look forward to. About mid-June, I'll be launching that. And I'm connecting.
And right now, I think
Sorry.
I was going to say, yeah, it's always good to support local businesses. And I think more than ever right now, with everything we're going through right now in the business community and socially and emotionally, I think supporting small business, which is the whole core of our business life and our being is small business. And I think if people can help support themselves and others, and then look at it as collaboration and then build upon that, I think that makes a big difference. And also builds up a big community, because I know that that's what you've done. You built up a big community and everybody's sort of working together, you know. So from what you've discovered over the course of time of going through your growth, you know, college and starting your businesses and doing this art and and losing your dad and going through that emotional experience, what's something that you have realized about yourself in the last few years?
Really just getting back in touch creatively. I focus now again on making handmade cards, and just people, the one thing that I really realize is that people still, as you get away from snail mail and shift to email or digitally, people really crave that handmade touch, or just a handwritten note, things like that. And so I'd have customers come in to buy these cards for their friends and families to reestablish that connection. They might not know what to say, but the card and the custom stamping inside, making that custom message for their situation, allowed me to help them say what they needed to say. If it was an awkward, situation where they want to send a note to a family or friend, then I helped them with those solutions. So really just reestablishing that communication is what's really stood out. I've also created a portfolio of different areas that are real life solutions that I interact with, that I integrate into my daily life. And that's really what bizorlandofl.com is all about, is showing those different ways that I have created my own local business and the concepts, and just brought it all together, just things I use and share on a daily basis with others.
So if you were to give a young entrepreneur any sort of nugget or knowledge or something, what would be that one or two things that you could say to that person?
The one thing that stood out, and I really realized this early on, I graduated in the late 90s from the University of Florida, and that's really when HTML and online journalism and all that was budding. So I saw something there. So early on, I practiced before Facebook business pages existed, and all this is how you can connect globally via the internet. And not only from an outreach standpoint, but a cost effectiveness standpoint, where you're not spreading yourself so thin or spending all your money on tangible items that could be outdated tomorrow. That you really can create solutions that can be easily updated. You're not printing 500 flyers that tomorrow you realize you hadn't made a mistake or whatnot. It's just still creating those mediums, but creating them digitally to share, so that you can share more cost efficiently and to more people.
Yeah, we've all done that. I've done that myself. You do a lot of stuff, and then you realize that there's something out of line, or you misspelled something. You think, oh my God, all this time and money I've just wasted. But on a digital thing, it takes like 2 seconds to be able to fix it. And luckily, sometimes you can recall it as well, or delete it or something, so people don't see. I did the same thing this morning. I was helping my husband, who's also an artist, post some of his artwork on his Facebook page, and I put the wrong description with the wrong piece of artwork. Well, 2 seconds later, I just deleted it. So it's not there, nobody sees it, it's done, it's finished, it's gone. So it's a lot easier than having, to go to a printer, get things printed up. Not that there's still a need for print, obviously, but it's just that much easier. So what about your vision for the future for you as an individual, as an entrepreneur, as a successful, inspiring woman? What do you see yourself doing? What is your mission in the next 5, 6, 10 years?
What I noticed a few years ago is that I really needed to focus, as I was spreading myself too thin with the brick and mortar and being in retail and trying to manage my schedule and life in general. I just saw my vision as the solution would be to be more online, so that I could manage different facets of my life and not have to pick and choose. So that really became apparent. And if I would not have gotten that, if I would not have realized that, I was able to spend 2 or 3 weeks with my dad at the last minute, because my fiance, and he enabled me to be able to spend time with him, and I was able to share those last moments with him that otherwise I would not have been able to. So it really just stood out to me is making sure you arrange your business solutions and just how you work your business, so that you don't have to sacrifice something completely, and to really integrate everything together. So the new office space will be by appointment only when I do meet with people. That allows me to be able to not only meet people when it works best mutually, but to not have so many set retail hours, which really can be tough. It can be tough to integrate life, especially if you're a solopreneur such as myself. So I've created a space where I can do more by appointment, local pickup of the handmade cards and gifts that I do, that I can arrange a day and time to meet with somebody to pick those up. They can still pick it up, have that instant gratification, but make sure that it's a time that works best for both of us, and that it's, that just provide those solutions, and to really just think of ways that I can better integrate what I want to do business-wise into my personal life.
And also, with everything that's gone on over the last few weeks with the virus and everything, I know as a coach and as a strategy specialist helping people with their businesses, it's getting creative and working your business around what is going on. So allowing yourself to buy appointment only, not having the restrictions that are imposed on you. You make your own restrictions, you make your own path, and you adjust your business the way you want to do it, and you get creative. I mean, there's so many creative ways to do things these days, especially with online and virtual and all that sort of stuff. Now, my business is 100% virtual, so it's being able to do that. And also, when you have a virtual business, you can be anywhere. I could be in any part of the world doing exactly the same as what I'm doing right now. It would make a difference because it's virtual. And I think that is something that people are looking at moving forward. So as a young entrepreneur, a young woman, what person in your life has given you some sort of nugget that you keep with you?
One thing that I really stood out, my fiance, he's a very brilliant, mathematic, just this technical side, is that I really see the importance of having someone in your life who really can help you grow in the areas that maybe aren't your strong suit, where you just, share on each other's strengths. And that has really helped me to take, look things different ways, or just approach them. And I think that in redeveloping my business in the new space, it's a result of that, and realizing what to not develop again, and to changes to make, how to run things more cost efficiently. And really, by making those steps, I could have picked a better time to redevelop this, and redevelop it in a different way, a way that's not going to be affected by tomorrow, what the news is, or, things happening, that I can create it where I can provide solutions and still be accessible to people, and to you continue on and not have that disruption to the business and to the daily life.
Right. Exactly. So let me ask you the question. So we're having afternoon tea, and as always, I have my tea in my little teacup here. Do you have your tea with you?
I do. Right
you
here.
do. Excellent. And what sort of tea is it that we're drinking today?
I love vanilla chai. That is my favorite. So the Bigelow vanilla chai is my favorite.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And we didn't do this deliberately, but we're both wearing red today, and that wasn't how we planned it. But it seems to be a red and black theme.
It is
this particular thing, but that's okay. It's how it is. I like red. Red's a nice color. So I want to thank you, Kathryn. You have been insightful, and also I know that the area in Orlando that you are helping with those artists, I think is a great thing to do. And I think that moving forward, when it comes to June and July, we're going to look forward to hearing from you and see what's going on. Kathryn's links are going to be underneath here. She'll put them on there when we put this live, so that you can go check out the local artist she had, and also her own work as well. Please subscribe, please give us some feedback, and please share. We like you to share things, we like you to give feedback, and we like you to subscribe. So I'm signing off with Kathryn and me, Helen Bella Bastalone, with Afternoon Tea, and look forward to the next episode. Thank you and goodbye.